7 News tracking breaking news: wildfires engulfing homes. At least 8 destroyed by this fire in Black Forest, north of Colorado Springs.
There are 3 major wildfires actively burning in Colorado right now. Along with the Black Forest fire we learned in the last hour, the fire at the Royal Gorge Park is now 3,800 acres.
And the Big Meadows fire burning 300 to 400 acres in Rocky Mountain National Park.
Right now, mandatory evacuations for about 3,600 people. That is 1,259 homes. Evacuation boundaries are Tahosa Lane, Burgess Road, Meriden Road, and Hodgen Way.
Now, we have team coverage from the Black Forest fire. 7 News reporter Mark Stewart talking to homeowners who know their home was lost. And we start with Marshall Zellinger live at the Media Briefing Center with the latest on firefighting efforts.
Ann and Mike, I can see behind all the cameras here, the El Paso County commissioners have just arrived. And forgive me if I keep looking to see if the sheriff and if Governor John Hickenlooper are walking this way. I can see a contingent of people. Behind me, this is where the Black Forest fire is. And it's tough to see because we have this area lit up that you can see a glow in the distance there. That is the active area of the Black Forest fire. Just about almost 2 hours ago, my photographer and I were on the southwesternmost edge of this fire, where we were just 100 yards away from some of the active burning. You can see how thick the smoke was at Shoup and Milam Road. Fire trucks disappearing into the smoke there, and we could see flames at the base of the trees. We also caught some firefighters putting some water either on some vegetation trying to put out a fire or doing some structure protection. And I know that we saw a firefighter stop what he was doing, walk out with a baby doe in his arms and hand it off to someone to take it to an animal shelter. And again, as I'm looking behind the cameras here, I can see the group that is going to speak here at the news conference has stopped to conference. What that horse was there, that's a horse that's at 11 years old. It has never been in a trailer before, and we watched for about 5 minutes as those guys try to get that horse into the trailer to take that to an animal shelter. One of the people helping with that horse tells me he watched an animal sanctuary across Shoup Road burn down, but had learned that there were 10 horses at that sanctuary that had been evacuated, that the owners of that sanctuary had able to get those horses out. What we saw at that location, which is in the area where I could see that glow just beyond these microphones here, that is, again, the southwestern part of the fire, and we were told by the sheriff at the 7 o'clock news briefing that the fire was heading in a south and southeasterly direction. Again, we're expecting the sheriff behind me momentarily and the governor, and when that happens, we'll come right back here to the media briefing area. But for now, reporting live in Colorado Springs, Marshall Zellinger, 7 News.
Thank you, Marshall. Air Tracker 7 over the Black Forest fire all afternoon. The video showing large homes being engulfed by flames. Many of those homes a total loss, only the foundations remaining. 7 News reporter Mark Stewart had been on the live on the north side of that fire all afternoon. And you talked to a homeowner who knows that his home is gone now.
We've heard several sad stories, Mike, and I should point out that people here are very anxious to hear that news conference because perhaps they will get a better gauge as to the size of the fire. At this point, the only estimate we've heard is 400 acres. They also, at this news conference, may get a better idea about damage to specific homes. If you want to take a look in the horizon, even though we're at a fire station, it's a good 2 miles away, there is still a little bit of a glow coming from the horizon. We have some pictures we shot earlier today, just at around 5 o'clock tonight, where just plumes and plumes of smoke and flames were shooting into the sky. And for people who live here, they knew that it was trouble. Right now, the news conference is about to start. Let's go listen in.
And Mark, the El Paso County Sheriff Terry Maketa has approached the microphone. Behind him are El Paso County commissioners. And I do not see Governor John Hickenlooper here right now. This is Sheriff Terry Maketa.
We're here to give an update on our fire. It has officially been named the Black Forest Fire. So there's that one's pretty straightforward. First report came in right around 1 o'clock this afternoon. As I mentioned earlier, the Black Forest Fire Department had command of the fire up until approximately 4 p.m. when we did a delegation of authority. The sheriff's office took over and immediately inserted a Type 3 command incident. And that incident commander is Scott Campbell, and they are still under a Type 3 command. As I briefed earlier, we have reached out for a Type 1 incident command team. and that team is en route, and they're expected to take over command sometime tomorrow afternoon. Just to give some basic information, we have about 155 firefighters engaged in this fire. We have 130 law enforcement. They're still engaged in evacuations and confirming evacuations. We have 16 water tenders, 36 engines, that's fire apparatus, 4 bulldozers, and you've noticed a lot of aerial activity, obviously before it got dark. We've had 4 Type 1 helicopters, 1 Type 2 helicopter, 1 Type 3 helicopter, and 1 Type 1 air tanker. I just received information from Congressman Lamborn's office that the MAFs assigned to Peterson Air Force Base will be prepared and ready to engage in the fire as we need them, beginning probably mid-morning tomorrow. Right now, our mandatory evacuation area is about 24,000 acres. Right now, we're estimating the fire to have consumed somewhere between 7,500 and 8,000 acres. It's affected a population of 5,469, and it contains about 1,966 homes. We do have a couple areas slightly to the east and to the north a little bit, that, or to the south, I mean, where we're in a pre-evacuation status, so those people living in that general area just need to be aware. The newest addition to that would be from Ayers to Hodgen and Meridian to Eastonville. That covers about 957 residents and about 336 homes. We also have, I know at times when you do evacuations, lessons we've learned, a lot of people get concerned about their property, the security of their property. We have tremendous support from the Colorado Springs Police Department, and we have 20 National Guard troops that'll be arriving on scene to help us maintain security, as well as do patrols throughout those communities that are evacuated. There's a lot of questions coming up. I know a lot of phones are ringing everywhere. Even all of your phones are ringing for citizens asking information. The citizen contact number is 444-8300. And then of course we have other numbers for the media. Now the first thing people want to know is, what is the status of my home? We do not have detailed information on that, but we are working as I speak to come up with a plan, most likely through electronic media as well as social media, and start identifying areas that we're absolutely sure homes were not burned, and we'll be working through the night to get that information out as quick as possible to the public. Just to kind of repeat, the general evacuation area where the fire is somewhat lies is on the west boundary would be Tahosa, and I think I reported earlier today Tahoma. It's actually Tahosa. On the east, Meridian, north at Hodgen, and then south would be Burgess. Right now, those locations are holding, and the next question is containment. We are still at 0 containment. We've had a couple opportunities to fly over. We know there are structures damaged. We do not have a count on it. Our incident commander is estimating somewhere between 40 and 60. You could easily assume that that is higher than that, and we're considering that primary residence. It's just so premature to give out any solid numbers on that, but we know we have lost some structures, and we'll begin the assessment where it is safe to do so starting tonight to the best that we can. And again, we do have large animal shelters at the Norris Penrose Equestrian Center, as well as the Elbert County Fairgrounds. And then right now, the primary shelters we have identified is Palmer Ridge High School and New Life Church. And obviously, as information becomes available, we'll be happy to share that. One of the hopes that we have now, obviously with nightfall, a little bit cooler air, hope that the winds, they have certainly died down since earlier today. That's going to give our firefighters a much better advantage, if there is such a thing. And the fire is still pretty well scattered. It's not just one wall of fire like this community has seen. It has spotted, flared up, spotted ahead, flared up, and it's pretty well scattered with a concentration of flames moving to the east and somewhat to the northeast. And what I'll do now is try to answer some questions.
Is everyone safe? Earlier you had said that not everyone wanted to leave their homes, and you had mentioned that...
All right, that's Sheriff Terry Maketa, who's been talking to the reporters about the statistics involving this fire today. We now know, after guessing at it all afternoon long, we now know that it is 7,500 to 8,000 acres in size.
And he was talking about 40 to 60 primary structures that have been affected. They are going to start assessing that tonight to figure out exactly where and whose homes were affected, and that they will have the Colorado National Guard out tonight to patrol those homes.